Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking, and today we are talking about banks. More specifically, we are talking about business accounts. If you are in a trucking business or any other business for that matter, you need a business account, and most people just go with business checking, and then you may attach a savings to it. But business checking is a must, the one that you can use with your debit cards and your checks, receive money, send money, and all that. My channel is specifically about trucking and dispatching, but I suppose this video could help other businesses as well, because at the end, most business accounts are targeted to general businesses. There are some specifics that I'll be talking in this video about trucking and dispatching companies, but 90% could apply to all different industries out there. You probably already have a personal checking, and your first instinct would probably be just to go to your bank, where you already bank, and then ask them to open up a business checking. But that may not be a good idea. A lot of banks will charge you for a business account, and they will have other fees too. So you should look into that before you sign up. You should ask them a lot of questions. When you do personal checking, when you get a personal account, the most important thing that it's free. You have debit cards, limits and all that. But with your business, it's more advanced. You're gonna probably stay there for a while, and then you will use it to make more money, and you have to make sure that it's not gonna cost you a lot of money, because in your business it's all about profit. You want to save money and then make the most money you can out of it. So first thing is just go with a regular bank. Credit unions might be good for personal banking and for certain people, but just a regular old bank is best way to go. So when you go there and talk to someone, make sure when you open up a business account that you talk to a person that does business in that bank. Don't just talk to a regular teller, or don't, like, even when you go back when they have office people. Make sure it's someone that understands business, and then preferably if you're in trucking business or whatever other industry you're there, that they know at least something about that industry, so they can help you out. So that's the first thing. You have to make sure that that person that's helping you knows about business, and that they can give some advice to you, and that they know what you're talking about. So I always go with free checking. There is no need, unless you're a big corporation and you're gonna be holding and making a lot of money and putting into the account. Then you can look into the perks. If they have paid checking accounts, but then they always give you something back. But if you are a small business just starting out, you just need a free checking account, free business checking account, and that's it. Ask them about fees. Ask them, do they have minimum limits, like hold like a minimum amount of money in that account. Ask them if they have fees for statements. Sometimes more and more banks will do that. They will charge you like $5 per month for a statement, for a paper statement, which doesn't make sense. So make sure you ask them if they charge a fee. If you need a paper statement, usually you can look them up online in your bank account, and then you can print it out or send it or save it to a computer. So you ask them about that fee. Ask them about fees for the debit cards. Ask them about fees for wire transfers. Trucking companies work a lot with wire transfers when they get their money from their factoring companies. Sometimes you may ask for a wire, because that way it will be in your account within an hour. like when you get the money from factoring company for your loads, you may need it soon. You can't wait for ACH for 1 or 2 days. You may want it same day. So wire transfers, the factoring company will probably charge you like anywhere from $15 to $30 just for that transfer. But then on top of that, some banks will even charge you when they receive a wire. So ask them about it. And I learned this from experience in my bank, because my bank before that, I didn't know, like I just assumed that they had no incoming wire transfer fees, and they didn't. But when I switched to another bank, I didn't even ask them, because to me it was just, normal. But then I got a big bill, like $200 at the end of the month for all the wire transfers, because at this one time I had to do wires every week because I needed the money, and they just kept adding those wire transfer fees. Even though I was receiving money, they still charged me wire fees, which was ridiculous, but it's what it was. Then I learned not to do it anymore. So ask them about wire fees as well. Also, look for promotions. Sometimes you can get some money, like a couple of $100, even up to like $500 when you open up an account. And usually they will want you to deposit certain amount of money at the same time into that account. But after a couple of months, you will get that money from them. And even when you're about to open the account, ask the banker to see, maybe they have some promotions, maybe they have coupons, or maybe you can even look it online while you're there in the office, and they just tell them, here, you have this promotion, how about this, maybe you can make some money, why not? The bank that I'm using, I use their payroll services for my drivers, my company drivers, and my owner operators. Now, if you're a dispatching company and if you don't pay your drivers, then this might not be for you. But if you have employees or contractors, drivers, anything like that work for you, then payroll is the way to go. I know a lot of companies that don't use it, and these are big trucking companies. They may use checks, pay the drivers by check, or maybe they have some kind of a way to transfer the money into their drivers' accounts. But sometimes that is not working out. I remember when I tried to do that, like my bank had this, there was an option you can transfer the money to someone else. You just have to have their account number and routing number, and then type it in. And then it worked for a few times, but then with a couple of people it didn't work out because they were using credit unions, they were out of state or somewhere with a small local bank. Then they didn't have a way to do that, to receive the money, and then that became a hassle. Then I called them and they said, hey, we have a payroll which is like $35 a month, but then it's a real payroll where you put in all your, like they have a special way to log in with a token and all that. It's very secure, and then you put in all the beneficiaries, your drivers, their account numbers, and it saves it. And then when you do payroll, it works for everyone. As long as they have a checking or savings account, it works for everyone, no matter where they live here in the United States or where they are, what bank they are using, it will work. And then usually the money will be in their account the next business day. So if your drivers are receiving their pay on Friday, then you on Thursday afternoon you have until like 7 or 7:30 at night to release that money, and then it will be transferred via ACH into their account, and it will be there like before they wake up in the morning. It will be right there in their account, and they also have a same day transfer. If you release the money, and you have to have that money in your account, if you release it until I think 2 p.m. or 2:15 in the afternoon, and you have to check the same day transfer, they will receive that money same day, probably by like 4 or 5 p.m. that day. There is a small fee, like they charge me like $2 or $3 for that, but it's worth it, because if someone needs money right away, or if you want to pay yourself right away or something like that, you can even have the money available in your account the same day, which is really cool. And then, of course, holidays, you have to make sure, like we have a weekend, when there's a weekend or a holiday, then it will not work. It will not count as a business day. You have to always release the money a day before that. But payroll is the way to go. Even if you have a couple of drivers, it will look professional. It will not give you headaches, and it will work every time, and it's well worth that money. Also, make sure they have an app available, and of course, home banking. From your computer, you have to have access to the account from a computer and from your phone. See if they have an app. If you can log in, what can you do with that app? And then also, most banks now have this deposit. You can deposit a check with your phone. So if you're getting a lot of checks from brokers or whoever, then you don't have to go to the bank, and you can just take a picture on that app and deposit it. And it works the same way as if you were to go to the bank and deposit over there. It takes a day usually, or a couple of days to clear. Also, what I didn't know, in my bank, they have limits. So they like when you log in into the app and you want to take a picture of the check, it will tell you that there is a $20,000 daily limit. Okay, and then you're like, okay, I'm fine, but it doesn't tell you there is also a monthly limit, and they were never able to tell me. I asked them a few times. Because I get my checks from brokers, and like if I get like 5 or 10 checks, sometimes I will go to the bank and just give it to them. But sometimes if I don't feel like going, or I'm busy, then I would just take my phone and take pictures of all these checks and then deposit it. And then towards the end of the month, when I get close to that limit, which I still don't know what it is because they can't tell me, then it may say, hey, you reached this month's limit on depositing checks, and then you were counting on doing that on your phone, but then now you have to rush to the bank, go in your car, and then take it over there. So ask them what the limits are with depositing. Also, my bank, since I was using a lot of these, I was depositing a lot of these checks, they told me, hey, we can give you a scanner. They rent me a scanner, and that was also like $25 a month. So they rent you a big scanner, like they have in banks, like when they put in the check and it takes it in and scans it. So I tried it for a month. You have to set it up to your computer, download the software. You have to go through a training with them. And what it will do, it will scan it to your computer and you deposit it, which is really cool. You don't have to go anywhere. But then I was, they also have limits for that too. And they go by number of checks, which I never reached. But also I found it to be a hassle. You have to always be at the computer and scan it. And instead, like the bank is around the corner, I have my phone, and why give them those $25 every month? Then I cancel it. But if you have a lot of checks and you can't go to a bank, ask them if they have a scanner that you can use at home with your computer. One more thing that you can ask your bank is if they work with SBA. SBA, Small Business Administration, they are known for good loans. And the banks sometimes will work with them, and this would be kind of like a government loan, but from the bank. SBA is kind of like a guarantor. I'm not sure the specifics, but they call them SBA loans, and they have good interest rates and all that. So you may want to ask them, because I know here the bank that I'm with, I didn't know about it. It just happened that they tell me, hey, like they are one of the to-go banks from SBA. They like them and they work with them. So when we had these PPP loans and all that, I was able to work directly with my bank, and they were very well prepared to help me with all that. So you can also ask them if they work with SBA. Another thing that I would suggest is to like if this is a big bank that has a lot of branches, you can try to and with time you will get to know all these people that work there. Try to have a person that specifically works with business. They may not have them in each branch, but you can ask if they have someone like a nearby branch, and if that person can be your go-to guy or girl, in sense of expanding your business, doing more complicated things in like as opposed to just regular like transaction when you go to a teller, and everything that concerns your business like investments, loans, anything like that, then you can talk to that one person that's knowledgeable, that knows what they're doing, that has experience, and that will help you in any moment. Like my guy, he's the branch is like 10 miles away, and then I have another branch just around the corner, but I would rather go to him. I can text him, I can email him, and then everything that's more complicated, he helps me out, and he's a very great guy. If you're here in the area, I can hook you up with him and give you his information. Some companies, most companies have loans. I try to avoid them. I try to avoid credit cards as well, but everyone is different. So that's another thing to investigate about the bank. What they have. And some of these big banks, they have a lot of advertising, and they try to make you come in and have them on board. But I think best thing is to go with a local bank. If they have few branches, that's even better. But all these big national banks, like big names, I'm not going to mention them. I don't want to trash anyone, but you know who I'm talking about probably. With business banking, it gets expensive, and they have a lot of limitations. It's best to work with someone that kind of has access to upper management, like in a local bank, where they can just talk more easy to someone from the higher management if you need to get things done. If you have someone that's on national level, by the time they get a hold of someone that's in another state and they have to talk to their boss that's in another state, it's too complicated. Most likely it's not going to work well out in your favor, whether you're trying to get a loan or something in that sense. If you stay local and talk to local people, then there's a better chance that they're going to help you. Also, read the reviews. That's also helpful for banks, like local branch reviews and all that. So that helps as well. Okay, I got these books here. They were in my office that I like. I like to read. I have a bunch of my Kindle too, but these are physical copies. Speaking about money, and I want to make a video about saving money as a trucking or dispatching company. But while we're talking about money and banks, I might as well just show you some books here that you may want to read that will help you in managing your finances. So this is a cool book. This does not help you. It's not practically helping, but it just tells you, the millionaire next door. It speaks about people who are millionaires, but you would never say that they are, because they dress normally and act normally. They have regular houses, regular cars, but they're millionaires. And then he did a research on people that are millionaires like that, and then he's saying that most of them are just act normally. And then that's a good book about that. The E-Myth, it's about businesses. It will help you with your business. I'll try to put all of them in the description of the video. But this is another good book that I would recommend. And then 80-20, that's good for salespeople. And then also in our case, and then he says that if you divide your customers and then I see it as my trucks, into like 80 and 20 portion, and 80% and 20%, then you will notice that 20% of your customers are bringing you the most money, but 80% of your customers or your trucks are bringing the least money, but you also spend the most time with them. So he says that you should concentrate on that 20% and then lose that other 80% that's slowing you down, that's not making much money. You should concentrate on that. So this is a really good book too. Mastery, I read this long time ago. This is about how to achieve mastery, how to be a master at anything. Like he basically says, practice, and do it repeatedly, and you will become a master. So even in this business, if you practice a lot, then you will get better at it. And this is what that book is about. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. This is more about investments and ways to handle your money. And then Dave Ramsey, everyone knows this one, but this it's kind of like a cliche, but it's a good book. This is more for your personal finances, but you can also apply it to your business, and this changed a lot of people's lives, and then it will teach you a lot of about money. And I don't have this book here. I think it's on. I read in my Kindle, Profit First. That's a really good book about business, and then it will teach you to think about profits first, because that's what business is about. He wants you. I can't remember his name, the author. I'm bad with names, but the author is saying that you should always think about profit first, and then everything else will come last, like expenses and all that. And it makes sense, usually, like if you have a business that you want to pay your expenses, your bills, do the payroll and all that, and then at the end, if some profit is left, then you're happy. If not, then it's fine. But he argues that you should think about profit first. Take the profit first for you, and then deal with all the expenses and bills, and then you'll see it does make sense. But then what I was trying to say, that's connected to that book, is that he says you should have few accounts in your checking. Like when you open up your business checking account, usually, and I did that with my bank, they were okay with that. Usually you can open like 3 or 4 additional checking accounts, or maybe even more, and they're going to be all connected to that main account, and they're free as well. You're not paying any money. And then each of these checking accounts assigned a purpose for them. So one will be to save for your tax, like you have to pay your taxes every month or quarter or every year, and then figure out how much your expenses are and your taxes, and each week put that amount of money, like 100 or 200 bucks in that account, and then have another account for your expenses, your regular expenses, and then have another account for your profit. So you would figure out what your profit should be, and then each week put a little bit of money in each of that account, and then whenever you need to pay your tax or your bills, or every quarter, if you are getting your profit from it, and he says get, I think, 50% of that profit for yourself, and then do something with that money. Go on a trip, reward yourself, buy yourself something, so that will give you a morale boost. It will make you go further, and then you will know that business is making you money, and in that way you will treat yourself and your family and tell them, hey, this is the profit that I made from that business, and then it will make you go further. It will make you try to get even more profit. So have all those accounts assigned for each purpose, and then every week, no matter what, you have to allocate some money into that account. But read the book Profit First. It's a really good book. It will change the way you think about business. and it will help you restructure your business, especially if you're struggling, if you're in debt, if you can't make the ends meet, and if you're thinking like, why do I need this? This business is a hassle. It's just giving me headaches. I can't keep up. The bills are too big. I can't make money. Read that book, and that will change your mind. I hope this video will help you with deciding which bank to choose. And people like these seemingly little things, no one thinks about it, but 2 weeks ago I wasn't even thinking about making this video, but then I thought to myself, well, maybe this means a lot to other people, and this is a big part. Like the bank that you go with, you deal with it every day. Sometimes you log into your account a few times a day, and you go there, and that's a big part of your business is the bank, where you keep all the money and who you deal with, and you should choose carefully who's going to be your partner, because you can maybe even call them a partner in your journey. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around. Subscribe to the channel and come back for more.